Okay, so let's start decorating the outside of this album. What I've come up with so far is I have this trim here. It's called Flapper Lace. This was in one of my design team packages, I think last time or the time before. And what I was going to do is set that along the side here, and I will do that also on the back. And then I was going to take this really pretty, it's called Pointed Floral, this one right here. And what I was going to do is place that down the spine and then drape these over so that it's going to look like this. So that's what I'm aiming at right there. So what I need to do is I just need to cut my lace to fit, and then I'm going to glue it down, and then I'll show you how it turned out. So this is how it turned out. It turned out really nice. See it? I got that down the spine, and then that here. Now with this little, I was originally going to put, I had some of this really pretty tulle, rose tulle trim I was going to put here to make, but when you're working with this little box, you got to be aware that it's got to be able to fit back in here. And then when I put this around here like that, and then like that, and stuck it back in the box, it wasn't fitting anymore, so I couldn't do that. So yeah, that's the one thing about when you have a box, you're kind of limited on what you can do because you need to get everything back in your box. So that's why I'm not even going to be able to embellish on the inside, because I'm already, with the tags that are in there, I don't want it too full, because then you won't be able to put your pictures or your own little ephemera in there. So I'm not going to be doing anything else to the inside of this. So my main decoration is just going to be like halfway up, because I can't put anything on the bottom either, because this part goes into the box. So it's just, so I'm going to go ahead and see what kind of flowers I have. But right now, what I'm going to do is work on the spine here. I like to really use these Tim Holtz Baroque frames, but for this little album, this was just too big because it sticks out on the sides, and I didn't want that. So I do have some of the little Tim Holtz, little teeny tiny ones, these little ones. So I thought I would do that, stick one of the little ones there, and then just put some flowers on the bottom. So the next thing I need to do is I need to go see if I can find a pretty little image to put in there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my paper and I'm going to go hunt for an image and put it in there, and then I'll show you what I've come up with. I found this really pretty rose image here. I still have the covering on this. I'll take that off after I get it on the album. So I just want to get my fingerprints all over it right now. So anyway, I was going to put that there, like this. Also, I'm not liking to keep the edges like this, even though they are cut nice. I'm thinking of taking a very thin, now this is a very nice lace. It's called the Flat Rochelle, and it's not thick, it's very thin. So I think I'm going to be able to take this around the edges, and it just finishes it off a little bit really nice like that. So I'm going to do that for the bottom and the top, and just finish that off so I don't have these raw edges sticking out. And it still is going to be able to go in and out of the box. So I'm going to attach my little frame and these pieces of lace, and then I'll show you how it turns out. So this is how it turned out with that extra trim on the bottom. It just finishes it off a little bit, makes it a little bit nicer there, and I got that all in. So now we just need to get some flowers on here. So let me bring out all my flowers and let's start putting some flowers on this. Okay, so I got some flowers out here. Now the only thing I need to stay aware of is I can only go down so far, because if I put any flowers down here, this will not fit in my box. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my album and set it in my box, and then just arrange my flowers here so that I know I can't go any further down than that. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I have these leaves. I mean, the leaves are pretty flat, so I should be able to go down a little bit on those, and I think that's not going to be a problem as long as I make sure I glue those down really good on the tips there. And then I found this really pretty arrangement here that I was thinking about adding right in there like that. And then I have some roses. And I have this real pretty glittery one here. I think I'm going to stick that one here. Then I have this one here. I was playing with this. Now sometimes when you get these, they're flat. And what I do is I have these round pliers that I use for making loops and stuff when I do stick pins and chunky charms and things like that. I just take them and grab the tips of my flowers and just turn them and just poof them back up again, because sometimes these come really flat and they lose that little bit of a shape, and then I just reshape them. And if you mist them with a little water and then do that, and then when it dries it'll hold that little curl a little bit better too. And then I was just going to stick, because I really can't put too much on that. So that's kind of like how what I'm thinking of doing for this right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take everything back off and glue everything back on and keep my fingers crossed. I stay out of my danger zone here so I don't go in there, or I'll just have to trim it if I do. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and then I'll show you how it turns out. Okay, here's what we're looking like so far. It's coming out really nice. I'm staying away from when you take your album out. It's going to be like that. I know it looks strange seeing nothing here. I was thinking about maybe I'm going to see if I can find some kind of a image or something I can put right here and keep my fingers crossed I can get this in and out of the box. I think I'll be able to. Seems to be going in and out just fine. And so what I'm going to do now is I don't need the box anymore. As I have some these little white Tim Holtz white flowers that I'm going to use as little fillers, and I'm just going to go around in some of these little areas that I can see, and I'm just going to start putting these around and just fill in some of those little gaps with these. And so I have those, and I have these other little white ones here that I can use too. These are really teeny tiny, and so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put a couple more little flowers and fill it in, and then I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll start decorating the box. Okay, well I finished the flower arrangement. I just added some of these little white Tim Holtz flowers around to fill in. So that's what it looks like. Also, I went and put a little very narrow pink ribbon around the bottom and the top just to finish it off a little bit. I just wasn't liking the way it was looking. I originally was going to try to use the bling on a roll, but the bling on a roll, when I put that in and set it in, it's just a little bit too thick. So I had to go with something really flat, and the flattest thing I had was ribbon. So I just put some little ribbon around there. So this is what it's going to look like. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do right here yet. I've been looking at some of the images, and I'm a little iffy, but we'll see what we do here. I might even just end up just leaving it, and whoever gets the album can just stick a picture or something right here. But it's going to have to definitely be something flat, that's for sure. It's not going to be anything thicker than a piece of paper. But so let's get started on decorating our box. Okay, so this is what we've got. What I almost was going to do is I received the rose trim, this really pretty rose trim. I really didn't want to use it to cover up all my pretty paper. I mean, it's really pretty trim, but I think it's just a little bit too big for what I'm doing here with this little box. So what I've decided to do, instead of using this rose trim, I'm going to use the heart Denise trim. And it's very pretty, and it's small, and you can still see the pretty paper. And that's what I wanted to do, because I don't like to really cover up pretty paper. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. So I will be gluing that like that. And I also have these rose buds that I was thinking about putting down across here, and then with the rose. Because you don't need a whole lot, because it is a small box, and you don't need a whole. It's going to be kind of hard for me to show you what I'm talking about, but this is what that's my plan so far for the bottom of the box. I'm not sure what I'm going to do up here yet, but right now I think I want to just put that on, and that's probably all I'll do for the bottom of the box, because it is small and it is pretty, and you don't want to overdo it. So let me go ahead and get all this glued down, and then I can show you it a little bit better without things moving around. So this is how this turned out. This turned out really pretty. And this is all I'm going to do on the box. Because I was originally going to put something up here, but once you have the album in there, when you're taking it in and out, you're going to be bumping into whatever's here, and you could probably pop it off, whatever you put there. So I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so this is what it looks like. And you have the album in the box. Turned out really pretty. I love how this turned out. Turned out so nice. That's the side. And then there's this side. So I'm really liking how this turned out. So this is my design team project for J&S Hobbies and Crafts, and everything that I used to make this album you can purchase at J&S Hobbies and Crafts. The only thing that I used out of my stash was this little arrangement here and the little ribbon trim there. Everything else you can find at J&S Hobbies and Crafts. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you make one, and if you do, please let me know. And I'll be talking to you again soon. Bye for now.